You know, he's in a tough situation. He's 38-0 with 37 KOs. Since he won the heavyweight championship, the WBC, the green belt, the most prestigious belt in boxing today, January the 17th, 2015. Remember, we are now, what is it, June the 30th, 2017. So what is that, about 28 months or so? 29, 30 months ago, he won the title from Bermane Stiverne, or won the title facing Bermane Stiverne. He then went on to fight Eric Molina. That was a voluntary. Johan Duhaupas. That was a voluntary. Artur Spilka. That was a voluntary. Chris Arreola was a voluntary. Now, in between that, you have to understand that he was supposed to fight Povetkin. To no fault of his own, Povetkin failed the drug test. But however, you do need to understand that there was some finessing and some maneuvering to, delay that Povetkin fight, longer and longer during that time when he fought Eric Molina, Johan Duhaupas, and Artur Spilka. So when the time finally came in May of 2016 last year for him to fly over to Russia, he said he wasn't going to go to Russia. His team said he wasn't going to go to Russia, but guess what? There was a lot of money over there for him. And, his team had lost a purse bid to Ryabinski, a World Boxing Promotions, Povetkin's promoter. The Russian billionaire who, media and people, who know about him knew he was going to win the purse bid. You see what I'm saying? So we knew that Wilder was going to have to go over there to fight him. But guess what? Alexander Povetkin failed the drug test for meldonium. It's how can I put it? It's a drug that was new on the newly banned list. But either way, it looked bad. But to not get into too many details, it's not exactly over yet because it's in appeal. So to Wilder's, credit, that wasn't his fault. He was getting ready to take the biggest test of his career at that time, and he was over there, and then Povetkin failed the drug test. So he fights Chris Arreola in like a stay busy type fight. At that point in time, Chris Arreola was coming off of a suspension himself for failing the drug test for weed. I don't know if it was true or not. I didn't really look into it, but didn't some news come out that Deontay Wilder had got booked for some weed or something? But truth be told, people don't give a fuck about that shit when it comes to drug tests. They only give a fuck about, like, if you fail, like, for using some old fucking crazy shit, like, some type of actually performance-enhancing drugs. Not weed. People don't give a fuck about weed. You see, and as far as the court of public opinion when it comes to PD, so ain't nobody really worried about that. So it's like, then he went on to fight Gerald Washington. Now, remember, he had a hand injury between Chris Arreola and Gerald Washington that put him out for, what was that, like 8 months, 9 months? So now he's got this bionic hand, but now he's in a situation where the fans are tired of it. They're tired of the shit. They're like, yo, you got to fight a live body, bro. We tired of this shit. So here comes Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is a up-and-coming heavyweight. He's much more marketable than he was when he fought Anthony Joshua. He's been calling out Wilder, him and his promoter, Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Sport, offering Wilder a career payday. And if Wilder goes over there, he's going to make some major-ass money over there. But the thing is, Wilder is undefeated. Dillian Whyte lost to Anthony Joshua. Wilder, because of his contract and relationship with Showtime and Anthony Joshua's relationship with Showtime, Deontay Wilder and the winner of Klitschko versus Joshua, especially if it's Joshua, are on a collision course to fight in a mega fight. And that's what I think Deontay Wilder is holding out for. So fighting a guy like Dillian Whyte is better than fighting Bermane Stiverne, as far as for fans are concerned. But it's not for Deontay Wilder because, truth be told, many fans feel that, oh, well, Dillian Whyte's going to give Deontay Wilder some real problems. And Dillian Whyte has gotten better, especially with that heavyweight fight. Like that was a crazy heavyweight fight, the heavyweight fight of the year, with him and Derek Chisora meeting Dillian Whyte. So knowing what I've learned about boxing and boxing politics and the way they be doing shit, it's clear as day to me, or it's, hey, you can say it's an assumption that Wilder's holding out for that payday. So it's looking like the Bermane Stiverne fight is going to happen, because when you're a champion, the only way to get out of your mandatory is if that's a gray hair. That's not, that's my wisdom hair. When you're a champion, in order to get out of your mandatory, his mandatory is Bermane Stiverne, you have to fight for unification, another title. Another title trumps a mandatory unless you pay that person some step-aside money. You say, okay, well, I'm going to fight this person, and we're going to give you like, let's say 500,000. You get this free 500,000. You can go fight for the WBC interim, and then fight the winner of me and him later on. So let me talk about the boxing Game of Thrones situation right here. Right now, follow me. If Deontay Wilder was to fight Dillian Whyte, Bermane Stiverne would have to be compensated. Bermane Stiverne would then go on to fight whoever number 2 is behind him in the WBC rankings for the WBC interim. So not only will he be getting free money, but he'll be fighting for the WBC interim title against, let me go look at the WBC rankings real quick. He'll be fighting for the interim title and a guaranteed shot if he wins against, it would be Luis Ortiz. It would be Luis Ortiz. So we got to talk about the boxing Game of Thrones then. We got to get deep into things. Okay, so let's go through the WBC. We got Deontay Wilder as the champion. His mandatory is Bermane Stiverne. Number 5 is Dillian Whyte. If Deontay Wilder fights Dillian Whyte, he would have to pay Bermane Stiverne some step-aside money. Bermane Stiverne would have to say, okay, I'll allow you to fight Dillian Whyte and take that step-aside money. And then the WBC would say, okay, Bermane Stiverne, you fight Luis Ortiz for the WBC interim, and then the winner of you, fight Deontay Wilder. Or Deontay Wilder, winner of Dillian Whyte. But then if Deontay Wilder were to lose to Dillian Whyte, then Dillian Whyte would have that WBC title and then likely be able to push off that Bermane Stiverne or Luis Ortiz fight, whoever wins that, and Bermane Stiverne may not fight Luis Ortiz. So Dillian Whyte would be in a situation where he could go after either Joseph Parker, who's fighting Huey Fury. Joseph Parker is the WBO champion, or Anthony Joshua Klitschko and get big money. So it's a big, deep, the heavyweight division, and I have to do individual videos, on all of the stuff to explain everything, but it's some deep political shit going on right now. And Anthony Joshua and Klitschko are at the top. So you got Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker, Bermane Stiverne, Huey Fury, and Luis Ortiz, who all are right there, and Kubrat Pulev. And then you got Shannon Briggs, who was in the mix too, but he failed his drug test, so he's got dropped out a little bit. So the next mandatory for Anthony Joshua and Klitschko is going to be Kubrat Pulev. But they can kind of try, they're not going to get another exemption for that. So it has to be Kubrat Pulev. And then if Wilder plays his cards right, he keep maneuvering. If he fights Bermane Stiverne again, beats him, he can fall back, a little bit, and then say, okay, we got to make this Anthony Joshua, Klitschko, Kubrat, whoever wins that now. Or he can go the route to fight the winner of Joseph Parker versus Huey Fury, which has just been announced for September the 23rd, because Wilder was going after Joseph Parker. But Frank Warren, the promoter of Huey Fury and Fury's team, what is it, Hennessy, whatever? I don't know if it's Frank Warren, his full promoter, I forgot. But long story short, it's a Frank Warren card. Frank Warren was like, no, we're not going to allow Deontay Wilder to get that belt and screw Huey over. Let's have Huey get this shot at this WBO, and if he wins, then, we know that we can get in there and get that Joseph Parker, Klitschko, or Wilder. So you have these promoters, they're all trying to maneuver, and right now, Dillian Whyte is in a situation where he can fuck all that shit up, by beating Deontay Wilder the fuck up. But see, here's the thing. Deontay Wilder is good. He has gotten better. But with that windmill shit, that crazy shit he be throwing, somebody gonna knock him the fuck out. He's got to clean that up. And I think that, he gets his fight, he gets the people that he's fighting, the fighters, finished, and then he just does that wild shit for the theatrics. But that should be looking crazy, man. So Wilder's in a situation where if he fights Bermane Stiverne again, it's like, okay, well, just get this shit out the way, bro. Just get the deal done, just get it out of the way, fight Bermane Stiverne. People are going to be pissed. It's like, oh, he's not fighting. Just get it out of the way. And then, of course, the excuse can always be, well, he's the mandatory, which is true. But in my opinion, I can see both sides. I can see how, like, I really don't want to see him fight Bermane Stiverne. But then when I know about the politics and shit, it's like, well, you got to fight Bermane Stiverne. But I want to see Dillian Whyte. You see, but Dillian Whyte also lost to Joshua. And Deontay Wilder's trying to get to Joshua. So then people will say he's fighting Anthony Joshua leftovers. And then what if he lose? And that's just the political mumbo jumbo, man. You also have Gerald Big Baby Miller and Gerald Washington fighting for, some high rankings, But yeah, the heavyweight Game of Thrones, you know, like I said, let me point out the names to you. You know, you got Deontay Wilder, Bermane Stiverne, Luis Ortiz in the mix, Kubrat Pulev, Anthony Joshua, you know, and Joseph Parker, Huey Fury. And then you got you know, Shannon Briggs and Fresno Quindo. I don't even know how Fresno Quindo is even involved in the conversation. But you got those guys like right on the outside. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and Joshua Klitschko, too, maybe hitting Vegas. You know, T Street Controversy Live.